Hello, citizens, and welcome back. City get the 3 points at Elland Road, a fantastic 3-1 win away to Leeds. Haaland gets his moment as well, so make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe as well if you're new here, and as always, let's jump into it. So first off, we have to talk about the lineup because it was an interesting lineup to say the least. Couple of surprises for me. I didn't expect Mahrez to start. Today, I didn't expect Lewis to start either, and I was kind of surprised that Gundogan did a little bit too. If you look at the the Liverpool game in the previous match, in the second half we brought on Foden, we brought on Grealish, and I did expect them two to start out wide for us with Haaland up front, but that wasn't the case. And again, a couple of surprises in defence: no Cancelo, no Walker. It was a bold move by Pep, but ultimately it did pay off. And getting into that first half, we started strong. We could have had a goal after the first 40, 50 seconds, whatever it was. A wonderful ball by Ake through to Haaland, who probably should have scored. I thought he should have lifted it over Meslier. Instead, he just hammered it at him. And Meslier came out quick to block the shot. And we could have had an early goal, and it really would have set the precedent for the rest of the match. But it wasn't to be. That being said, we did control possession really nicely, and we were probing all the way through the half. Leeds weren't really offering much. They just sat back, stayed compact, and they were looking to hit us on the break. And every time they did try and hit us on the break, we were cutting out quite nicely. I thought Ake, Akanji, and Stones all did really well in that first half, stopping all of that. Now in midfield, Gundogan, De Bruyne, we know what they bring. Nice creativity as well. They tend to stay up the pitch more, and helping them out was Rodri and. Well, it was Lewis. Lewis would step in from right back and go into midfield. And I think that's one of the reasons why Pep played Lewis in this game instead of Walker, because he wanted someone who was better on the ball, someone who could dictate play in midfield. And that's what Lewis helped Rodri do. I thought them two as well, they stopped the breaks quite a bit. They were creating fouls when they needed to. And getting forward, they did their bit. And, they did cause a few problems for Leeds. Up front, first half, Grealish, it was a little bit worrisome, wasn't it, in the first half of Grealish? He had 3 glorious chances, and I think he probably should have had a hat-trick in that first half. The first chance came at him pretty quick, but the outside of the 4 or 5 yards out after a cross, either head it, left foot it, whatever, I think he should be scoring there. There was another one where De Bruyne rolled the ball across to him to the edge of the box, and again, Grealish balloons it over. He should be doing better with the ball. And the worst one was the cut back to him. I can't remember who did it. I think it was Lewis. Cuts it back to him, like 6-7 yards out, whatever it was. Pretty much an open net to aim at. And he balloons it over. And that really summed up City's performance in the first half, because we really did have most of the ball. We created all the chances. We ended the half with 14 shots, but only 3 on target. And you look at Leeds, and they only had 1 shot in that first half. And it would have almost gone in at 0-0 at halftime. It wasn't for a good counter-attack at the end. It was Gundogan who set it off, laying it out wide to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne's directness, De Bruyne's bravery on the ball, gets him 56 yards up the pitch. He cuts it right to Rodri, who feeds it further right to Mahrez, who cuts it back to Rodri. Well, he doesn't actually, does he? He takes a shot. And then Rodri puts it in from close range underneath Meslier. And it was a deserved lead. We did deserve to go in at halftime 1-0 up. But it could have been so much different. We should have been 4-5-0 up as well, because Haaland also had another glorious chance in that first half there. I think he probably should be scored. One where he tried to cut it back with his left foot over or go back towards where Meslier was coming from, rather than just take it on his right after being fed through by De Bruyne. De Bruyne could have had 4 or 5 assists in this game. Really should have had a hat-trick. Haaland probably should have scored 5 or 6. It's just one of those games, and you knew that Leeds were going to score their first shot on target, which they did in the end. But that came in the second half. Now, getting into the second half, I was surprised to see Grealish come back out, because, if you watch the watch-along, a lot of people were saying that he needs to come off, he needs to make changes, Pep. And I would have agreed with them at that point. I don't think it was going to be Grealish's day. It just seemed like it was going to be one of those games for him where it just didn't quite pan out. But, Pep stayed with him, and I got to say, Grealish's hard work, he never dropped his head, he carried on going. He was still being fouled all the way through the half. And, he was quite responsible for that second goal, because the Leeds defense, a bit loose on the ball, a little bit tired maybe. Grealish nicks in to start off, and Haaland stays up with him, and when Grealish feeds him across, Haaland rolls into an empty net. And that was all made by Grealish's hard work, his willing to press, and his ability to not drop his head and just keep going despite the poor first half he had. So well done Grealish for that. And of course the third goal Haaland got, and that wrapped up the 3 points really. And just a little note on Haaland as well. I think Haaland had a pretty good game. I know I said he should have had 4 or 5 goals, which I do think he should have at least had a hat-trick. But I think he's had a good game. He dropped in deep quite nicely. You know, he linked up, played really nice. He could have had an assist as well if Gundogan had taken his chance late on. And one thing I will say about Haaland in this game, he didn't quite... He looked match fit, but not match sharp. By that I mean, I just meant like a couple of his shots he had seemed to be more snapshots, or he just seemed to be taking one touch too many, or have the ball under his feet. He just couldn't quite get it in his stride sometimes. And I think, you know, a couple more games, and I think he'll be fine with Haaland with that, and we'll see him banging in them goals for fun again. But yeah, he got man of the match on Amazon and probably deserved it as well. I thought De Bruyne ran the show for us, but Haaland, he worked really hard. Now, another note on Mahrez as well. I thought Mahrez played a pretty good game. I'm always the first to criticize Mahrez, and I've always said that, you know, he needs to go at the end of the season. I think his time's up. But he played really well today. You know, he attacked. I thought he attacked his fullback more than Grealish attacked his. I thought he was a bit more positive than Grealish was with the ball. And he did try and help back a few times. You know, he fouled a few Leeds players on counters. He did do his defensive work as well. So no complaints from Mahrez, really. He didn't really do much, but he didn't do anything wrong either, really. So yeah, it was a good performance from him. And overall, like I said, we got the 3 points. It was just a shame that Leeds scored towards the end, which kind of made it a bit more nervous. But really, you know, our defense were pretty much on top for the whole game. So we didn't really have anything to worry about too much. It was a good result, good 3 points. And it's good to have the Premier League back as well, because we've got to remember that we haven't played in the Premier League for like 45, 46 days, something like that. And the last time out, we got beat at home to Brentford. A game we should not have lost. A game that could have gone like this quite easily, where we were wasting our chances. But we took them chances in the end, got the 3 points. We kept up the march towards Arsenal, who were 5 points clear of us at the top of the Premier League. And we got Everton next. And you got to expect 3 points from that Everton game. A draw isn't good enough anymore. We're at that stage of the season already where we can't afford to drop points, where we have to win every single game. And it started with Leeds away, a potentially tricky opponent, and we got through it. And we got through it quite well. I thought we played really well. That's it, really. So thank you for watching the match reaction. Thanks for checking it out. If you haven't watched the player ratings videos yet, make sure to do that. And as always, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe as well if you're new. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.